Goldilocks and the Three Bears. From the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears, we can take several valuable pieces of advice to apply to our lives. Respect others' property. Just as we should respect the belongings and spaces of others, we should respect their boundaries, choices, and personal spaces in real life. It's important to ask for permission and not take or use things without consent. Think before you act. In the story, Goldilocks acts impulsively without considering the consequences of her actions. We should remember to think before we act, especially when our choices might affect others. Appreciate differences. The story illustrates that people, or bears, have different preferences. What's just right for one person may not be the same for someone else. It's crucial to acknowledge and appreciate these differences in real life and avoid imposing our own preferences on others. Consider the impact of your actions. Goldilocks' actions had consequences, and she faced the repercussions of her choices. This teaches us to consider how our actions might affect others and be responsible for our decisions. Seek help when needed. In the story, Goldilocks could have benefited from seeking help or guidance instead of entering the bear's house without permission. Similarly, in real life, when faced with challenges or unfamiliar situations, don't hesitate to seek help or advice from trusted sources. Learn from mistakes. Just as Goldilocks learned from her mistakes and didn't repeat them, we should learn from our own errors and grow from them. Mistakes are valuable opportunities for growth and improvement. Exercise caution with strangers. Goldilocks enters the bear's house without permission, a lesson in respecting boundaries and being cautious around strangers. In real life, it's essential to be careful and cautious when dealing with people we don't know well. Be responsible. Goldilocks' actions create a mess in the bear's home. Responsibility for our actions and their consequences is crucial in our own lives. We should strive to clean up our messes and make amends when necessary. Once upon a time, in a cozy cottage nestled in the woods, lived a family of 3 bears: a big papa bear, a medium-sized mama bear, and a little baby bear. They were a happy and loving family, and they enjoyed their simple life. One sunny morning, Mama Bear prepared a delicious pot of porridge for breakfast, but it was too hot to eat. So, the 3 bears decided to go for a walk in the forest while their breakfast cooled down. Meanwhile, not far from the bear's cottage, a curious little girl named Goldilocks was exploring the woods. She stumbled upon the bear's cottage and, seeing that no one was home, decided to investigate. Goldilocks entered the cottage and noticed the table set with 3 bowls of porridge: big, medium, and small. She was feeling hungry and decided to try some. First, she tasted the porridge in the big bowl, but it was too hot. Then, she tried the porridge in the medium-sized bowl, but it was too cold. Finally, she tasted the porridge in the little bowl, and it was just right. Goldilocks ate it all up. Next, she moved to the chairs. She sat in the big chair, but it was too hard. She tried the medium-sized chair, but it was too soft. Finally, she sat in the little chair, and it was just right. But as she settled into the little chair, it broke with a loud crack. Undeterred, Goldilocks went upstairs and found 3 beds. She lay down in the big bed, but it was too hard. She tried the medium-sized bed, but it was too soft. Finally, she lay down in the little bed, and it was just right. She fell asleep right away. Just as Goldilocks was peacefully napping, the 3 bears returned home from their walk. Papa Bear growled, "Someone's been eating my porridge." Mama Bear exclaimed, "Someone's been eating my porridge too." Baby Bear cried, "Someone's been eating my porridge, and it's all gone." The bears then noticed the chairs. Papa Bear grumbled, "Someone's been sitting in my chair." Mama Bear said, "Someone's been sitting in my chair too." Baby Bear whimpered, "Someone's been sitting in my chair, and it's broken." Finally, they went upstairs and saw the beds. Papa Bear roared, "Someone's been sleeping in my bed." Mama Bear said, "Someone's been sleeping in my bed too." Baby Bear cried, "Someone's been sleeping in my bed, and she's still there." Startled awake by the commotion, Goldilocks saw the three bears and, without a second thought, jumped out of the little bed and hurried out of the cottage as fast as she could. The three bears realized that the intruder had meant no harm, and they decided not to chase after her. Instead, they fixed the broken chair and finished their breakfast together. The moral of the story, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, teaches us several important lessons. Respect others' property. It's important to respect other people's belongings and not take or use them without permission. Think before you act. Before making a decision or taking action, consider the consequences and how it might affect others. Appreciate differences. Everyone has their own preferences, and what's just right for one person may not be the same for someone else. Advice to kids: respect others' things. Always ask for permission before using or taking something that doesn't belong to you. Think about consequences. Before you make a choice, think about how it might impact others and whether it's the right thing to do. Be considerate. Recognize that people have different tastes and preferences, and that's perfectly okay. What's too hot or too cold for one person might be just right for someone else. In conclusion, Goldilocks and the Three Bears is a classic story that reminds us of the importance of respecting others' property, considering the consequences of our actions, and appreciating differences in preferences.